All right, everybody, welcome to Logan's Candies, you guys. My name is Jerry. I'm going to talk you through the demonstration here. So what we have here is a mixture of sugar, water, and corn syrup. Been cooking for about 45 minutes. When I pour it on the table just now, it's a little bit over 320 degrees. So we're just going to add a little bit of color, a little bit of flavor. In about 20 minutes, we'll be heading over to the table, getting ready to pull out some ribbon candy. Now this is the same recipe we've been using here at Logan's since 1933. Same recipe, same marble slab, same hook on the wall, same stove, same heater. I've not been here quite that long. I got here this morning about 9:45, so we're a little late this morning. So we're going to be making ribbon candy today. So ribbon candy and candy canes are the identical recipe. There's actually no difference at all. The only difference is once we get to the table over here in front of the heater, we begin to shape it and pull it out a little bit different. But other than that, the recipe is exactly the same for candy cane and ribbon candy. Now we're going to be making cherry cola flavor today. So we're going to do a couple colors. Actually, we're going to do 3 colors. We're going to do a brown stripe, we're going to do a red stripe, and we're also going to do a white stripe. Now the only part of the candy cane that has flavor is the white part of the candy cane. So just like the ribbon candy, the center will be all white, and the stripes are just going to go on the outside edge to give it its coloring. And I just want to let you know that when we're done here today, I also do haircuts. So if anybody needs a trim, I'm happy to help out. Sure. Only one style is all I can do is the bald look, so bald's beautiful. This says the bald man, right? All right, so we're going to start out with our red stripe today, the darker color. Brown's probably a little darker, but we start with red because we do have to add quite a bit to it to get it to the red we're looking for. So we usually start with red first if we're doing red. So I'm going to separate just a little bit out here. And that'll be for our red stripe. And then the bulk of this bigger piece here on my right is going to be the white part of the ribbon candy. And then also we'll take a little bit of the brown out of it as well. So I'm going to do a quick lug change so we can add some color to it. So we're going to start out with what we call a gel paste color. And all that means with a gel paste is it is not a water-based color. In this case, we're going to use a red. No flavor whatsoever. This is just going to be the color only here. Just like that, we're going to mix that in. We're just going to fold that in here for a minute or so. There's our red stripe. And we'll mix that in here for just a minute or two. Like I mentioned, no flavor whatsoever. That is just color only there. This is our biggest ribbon candy season. Now last year, beginning November 1st, we had 31 different flavors of ribbon candy. So just about every flavor you can imagine. Although this year, now 31 flavors, that would make us the Baskin-Robbins of ribbon candy. So next year we're going to do 32 flavors. That way they don't send their lawyers after us. So 32 flavors for next year. Probably like a rutabaga flavor, maybe liver and onions, something like that. Something really popular. I just got to make sure the red's all mixed in here. Just about all mixed in, so we're going to take it over to the table here. Put it in front of the heater and we'll let somebody come out of the back, keep it nice and warm. That is very, very hot there. Remember, we're making cherry cola flavor here. So I just cut a little bit out here. And we're going to add the brown color into this one here. Once again, we're using that gel paste color. No, not a water-based color. No flavor again whatsoever. Just the color only here. We'll mix that in here for just a minute or so, just like we did the red. Now I talked about Valentine's Day. We also do candy canes for St. Patty's Day. We do green and white candy canes, not in the traditional candy cane shape, but also in the shape of the 3-leaf clover. So we'll take that over the table. Let Sam keep this warm for us also. Brown all mixed in. Very, very hot there still. Very, very warm. So we're going to take a little reading here and see where we stand. Got my handy dandy thermometer here. Just going to take a little tasting here. And we're at 199 degrees there, so it is still very, very warm at 199. You guys see that there? Just nod your head, that way they all believe it's 199, right? See that? Very good, very good. All right, so now let's add a little flavor to it. So we're making cherry cola. So we're gonna add a little bit of cola, and we're gonna add a little bit of cherry. We're gonna add a little bit, about 1/3 of an ounce total between the two flavors. Touch of cherry there, just like that. And we'll mix that in just like we did the color. And then in just a minute here, we're going to show you how we're going to turn it nice and white. Remember, this is going to be the white part of the candy cane. Now, when we turn it white, we are going to do it all natural. We're not going to add any color to make a change. You'll see how that happens here in just a minute. It has nothing to do with the flavor, but still change color even if there was no flavor whatsoever. Keep your eye on the big blob up here. Not me, the big blob on the slab. Here we go, rolling, rolling. And there it is, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the show. There's your candy cane. Thank you very much. No, just kidding. Tough crowd, sorry. So we're going to do a couple things here. Number one, we're adding a little bit of air to it. Also the stretching of the sugar crystal, and that's what causes the candy cane to turn nice and white. Very similar to the way you might whip egg whites at home, or how when you stretch out a rubber band, how the color lightens up a little bit. You can see that with each and every pull, it gets a little bit lighter and a little bit lighter. Or in my case, a little bit heavier and a little bit heavier. Now the whole batch is a little bit over 20 pounds total weight. I've got about 16, almost 17 pounds here on the hook for the white part of the cane. Sam's got about 1.5 pounds between each of the colors over there, keeping them nice and warm for us. So this is what we call Jerry's Gym, also known as my holiday health spot. That way we don't have to go to the gym this time of year. Okay, I confess, I don't go to the gym any time of year. This is the only workout I get right here. This is it. But I do drive by the gym a lot because my favorite donut shop is right next door to the gym. And I obviously do love the donuts. And we'll take this over to the table and show you how we put it all together. Now remember, up to this point it is exactly like candy canes. Once we get to the table, that's where it's going to change, and we're going to make it into ribbon candy. Now you also notice there he's going to do a little bit different shape on our block. Normally we do a square or a little bit of an oblong square there. In this case, we're going to make it into like a teardrop or like an almond shape as well. And we're going to put some white on the outside of that to separate our stripes here. And we're doing brown, white, and red. So there's our white stripe. And there's another one of our white stripes there. Put that on the outside right there. That on the outside there. So there's our center stripe of the ribbon candy. You can see some of the samples over there, kind of a same stripe pattern. So I'm just going to begin to stretch this out a little bit. Just like I mentioned, this is going to be the center stripe. I'm going to go right down the middle on both sides of the ribbon. Stretch this out a little bit here. I still have part of my brown up here. This is going to be the outside of the edge stripe of the ribbon candy. So this will be the tips of the stripe or the ribbon candy pieces. And I'm not really sure what he's doing there. I'm not sure. No, I'm just kidding. That is our shape we need there for our ribbon. All right, so I've got my center stripe there. Looking pretty good. So we're going to take our big block here. I'm going to set it right on top of the stripe. So now we've got our stripe on one side of the block there. We're going to wrap it around this other side here. So now we have it on both sides of the block there. And just actually stick that right to the outside. Now remember, they're both still very, very warm. So it's just going to stick right around the outside edge. Just like that. Some sort of a toilet seat cover. I'm not really sure what they're. See right there, look at this. We're going to straighten. Now we're going to start cutting out some samples right off the bat for you guys because it does take us about 30 or 40 pieces to get our stripe just the way we want it. So I'm going to keep it in front of the heater here. We're going to start cutting out a few pieces for you here. Taste. I like to eat. So it's going to take us, like I mentioned before, about 20-25 pieces to get our stripe just the way we want to. Right now we have the center stripe and the red down the middle, but in just a couple minutes here you'll start to see our outside edge stripe come into play here. Lots of practice.